Okay, thank you all once again. You're welcome to our online session. Today being Tuesday, the 20th January 2022. My name is Josh Akobeta, and I'm privileged to be the Product Research and Training Manager of ZKTeco West Africa. And this session is going to be an interesting one, not only for knowledge, but also for business. And during the course of this session, we're going to be looking at our Turnkey time attendance time attendance management system, which is the Biotime. And we're going to be looking at Biotime from a cloud-based and a web-based perspective, and also the value that our partners would get. Either they are deploying the cloud-based or the web-based, or both of them together. This is what this session stands to give to our customer, the knowledge. And during the course of this session, we would see the opportunity, the money, we chase the money and see how we can use this opportunity of ZKTeco Biotime to make money, extra money, not just only by optimizing business operation, but also making money while optimizing people's business operation, because we understand that attendance to most company is of a very serious essence. That being done, let's dive into the first part of our session, which is the Biotime 8.0. So during this session, we're going to be looking at the Biotime, because as ZKTeco, Biotime is our foremost and our turnkey time attendance management system. And Biotime is so robust such that it caters for every need of attendance in all ramifications of it. And Biotime is in two categories. We have the Biotime 8.0, which most of us already might be aware of. And we also have the Biotime Cloud, which is a new technology that was newly released. So Biotime 8.0 is a web-based time attendance software. It's a web-based time attendance software. Why? We have yet another, which is the Biotime Cloud. Biotime Cloud is a cloud-based time attendance solution. So I know people might be asking, what is the difference? Web-based, time-based, what is really the difference? Not to worry. When we are talking about Biotime 8.0, it's referred to as a web-based because it's a time attendance software or a solution that is a desktop web-based application. By desktop web-based application, we mean that you need a PC that runs, preferably a Windows, to run this application, and it must be resident on a local PC. But when you run this software, it opens on any of your web browser, either Microsoft Edge, either Chrome, either Mozilla, any web browser. That is what you use in running it. Hence why it is referred to as a web-based time attendance software. Why Biotime Cloud, on the other hand, is also run on the web, but is a cloud-based because you don't need any PC to install it, any desktop to install it. Unlike Biotime 8.0, that it must be installed on a Windows operating system. So for those who are using the likes of iOS, Mac, they cannot run Biotime 8.0 or install it on their Mac because it's meant to be run on a Windows Server, Windows 8, Windows 7, and different Windows as we've seen. But with Biotime Cloud, because it's cloud-based, you don't need to have a local PC where the software is installed. You don't need to have a desktop to install this PC on because it's resident on the cloud. So this is one major differentiation we've seen when it comes to Biotime 8.0 and Biotime Cloud. And from that link, you can see the link you can go through to check the demo account of this two solutions, both the Biotime 8.0 being web-based and Biotime Cloud. So we'll still discuss more about this, and not to worry, we'll have a session, a question and answer session during the end of this session, please. So you can send in your chat, send in your question, and we still have a question and answer session at the end of this to clarify Biotime versus the Biotime Cloud versus the Biotime 8.0. So now, Biotime Cloud versus the Biotime 8.0. We understand some people might be asking a lot of questions, but we know that it might be a state of dilemma many people might be in. And that is why we want to ease the dilemma of the cloud versus the web. It's been a long-standing conversation that is as old as time. So most CEOs will always ask, most entrepreneurs, most tech-savvy people would ask, which is better? Is it cloud or is it web? Not to worry. We are here to ease that dilemma in course of this our time attendance management solution. But one thing is sure, whether you want it on premise, whether you want it software as a service, for some of us who are aware of the tech, who have some tech background, we understand what we call SaaS, which is software as a service. While we also understand what is called IaaS, which is infrastructure as a service. It is important to note that when we are talking about Biotime Cloud, we are talking about software as a service. Software as a service because it's a software, but it's sold as a service because it's cloud-based. But when we are talking about Biotime 8.0, because it's a desktop application, it is infrastructure as a service. It is on-premise, unlike the Biotime Cloud, that is on cloud, hence not necessarily needing a server, a local installation on the premise. That is why cloud is referred to as software as a service, while Biotime 8.0 is referred to as an infrastructure as a service. Now, when we are looking at Biotime 8.0 versus Biotime Cloud, what are the unique selling points? What are the unique differentiation? What value are we bringing to the table as ZKTeco? First, for us to get that differentiation, we need to use some factors of comparison. And one of the factors we look at when comparing what to go for, if we are going for Biotime 8.0, or if my business, or if I should, as a vendor, I should sell Biotime Cloud. First of all, we're looking at the cost. Let's analyze Biotime 8.0 versus Biotime Cloud using the cost. The cost installation, first of all, is if you are looking at a Biotime 8.0, because it's an infrastructure as a service, it means you have to get a PC that would work as a server, a Windows server or a Windows, any Windows OS that is compatible with Biotime. You have to get that. And because you want it to be readily available, that's an event where you want to be accessing it remotely, you need to keep that PC always running. So those are costs you're looking at, the cost of keeping that PC always running. That is Biotime 8.0, just from the cost perspective. Then the cost of changing that PC, if it becomes faulty, servicing it, and a whole lot are what to look at for when you are looking at Biotime 8.0. Then scalability. In event of your company, your business is growing, how do you move from one point of currently having, let's say you have just 10 staff in one location, to moving to over 100 or 500 staff in, say, 10 locations? How do you manage that? How do you scale? Scalability for Biotime 8.0, because it's a desktop software, becomes very tricky and not so cost effective, because then you're looking at public IP for the configuration. If you are concerned about linking all the devices to a central location so that you can see all business in different locations from a central location, you're looking at getting a public IP that you would come at an extra cost from your internet service provider. So scalability is going to affect or upshoot your cost when you're deploying Biotime 8.0. Then for maintainability, retainers, we are talking about when system fails. You've been using a system for 1, 2, 3 years. Over time, it might become faulty and you want to maybe repair it, or it goes for maintenance. If that system becomes faulty, you have to reinstall another Biotime 8.0 on a PC, get a license, reset a license. So maintainability is another factor to look at there. Then accessibility, like I already mentioned when discussing the scalability. For Biotime 8.0, Accessibility is subjective. Subjective in terms of how well do you want to access it. So this is a factor to look at. But now we talk about accessibility. Something to note is that if you're using Biotime 8.0 currently, or you intend using Biotime 8.0, accessibility is a factor you need to look at. How many locations of business are you targeting? How would you say to your customer? How would your customer manage all the devices across different locations? These are factors you need to look at. Accessibility. How would the HR director or manager assess all employees who are in different locations? In a case where you have more than 1, 2, 3 locations and you want to manage it centrally. These are factors to consider in accessibility when looking at Biotime 8.0. But what about Biotime Cloud? Let's use these same 4 factors to consider Biotime Cloud. Cost for Biotime Cloud, because it's cloud-based, it comes at a recurring cost, a monthly premium, which is affordable. And because you are not deploying it installed in a PC or a desktop, any of your desktop or PC, you don't need to worry about keep the PC running. You don't need to have a local server because the server is resident in the cloud. You don't need to worry about downtime. What if for some reason the inverter goes off? What if the light is not restored in 1, 2, 3 weeks? How am I able to access it even if I'm not in Nigeria? These are the cost factor that Biotime Cloud takes away. Scalability, because it's cloud-based, you can move from having just one device with 10 employees, and within the next day, you can move from having up to 20,000 employees with 500,000 devices in, let's say, 100 locations. You don't have to worry about that. But it's a major worry if you are talking about Biotime 8.0. So scalability for cloud, because it's cloud-based, it's easier. Maintainability. When it comes about maintainability for Biotime Cloud, is almost as zero cost. It's cloud-based. And it's important to note that talking about maintainability, Biotime Cloud is hosted on the very secure Amazon AWS cloud server, which has been known to be very reliable. Accessibility, it's cloud. So from your phone, from your laptop, from any operating system, whether you're using Mac, iOS, whether you're using Android, whether you're using Windows, you don't have to worry about accessibility when you're talking about Biotime Cloud. So we've seen the factors now. Let's now talk about the functions of this time attendance management, Biotime. It's something important to note that these functions we are going to be enlisting now, they are mostly resident in Biotime Cloud and Biotime 8.0, except for the ones that are asterisk, which I would let you know if it's not available in any of the modules. So all functions is either available in Biotime 8.0 or Biotime Cloud. And these are some of the functions. It's web-based. It gives room for auto-synchronization, multiple approval, real-time monitoring, payroll management. Payroll management is not available in the cloud, but it can become available based on the need of the client, but it's available on Biotime 8.0. So all what you see on your screen currently are the functions that are resident in Biotime, whether Biotime Cloud or Biotime 8.0. All the functions you see here are resident there. Still about Biotime, like we discussed, it's a powerful web-based and class-based time attendance management software. And it can connect irrespective of the kind of connection you're using. Whether you're using internet, that's network cable, whether you're using wireless, that's what we generally call Wi-Fi, GPRS or 3G. Even if you're using a 2G enabled device, it can work with the Biotime irrespective. And this also gives you an opportunity for your employee to have a portal that is for self-service. So employees can log in on their portal, check their port, check their schedule, check their leave, apply for leave, and a whole lot. Not only do you have a backend access to the admin, even all employees in your company can have a self-service access for them to check their clock, log their clock, send for approval, and a whole lot, which we would see during the course of this presentation. And you have multiple administrators. You can have a super administrator, you can have a sub administrator by location or by devices, depending on how you want it. You can have hundreds, even thousands of devices connected to this time attendance management software or solution. And it is user-friendly. The UI and the UX is intuitive. You can generate reports. You can quickly generate attendance reports. You can check your total time card, how many employees have clocked in, how many employees have not clocked in, how many employees are absent for a given day, for a given week, for a given month, or for a given period. These are just some of the attendance you can generate. It's actually a whole lot what you can do with these. These are some of the features we talked about for the Biotime Cloud and the Biotime 8.0. And we also mentioned about a centralized, Biotime being a centralized time management solution. Centralized in form of, so we have an office that their head office is in Lagos, but they have location in different places. Recently, I had a client who is in the healthcare sector. They are a dialysis center and they have hospitals in different locations, in Ibadan, in Lagos, being in Ikeja, the head office, in Ogun State and other locations. And the medical director was concerned about getting all these devices, all the attendants in all the different locations so that they can be able to see the attendance. And Biotime is working for them. From this location, the individual HRO in this location can see the report for them in just their own location, while the head HRO or the HRO director in Lagos can oversee all the devices in different locations. This is possible with Biotime 8.0 and Biotime Cloud. Multiple language means language is not a barrier. You can see it in different languages, depending on where the client, depending on the client language. So even for those who are not English speaking, for companies, we understand that Nigeria is a haven that attracts investors. So for people who have clients who are, say, companies that are not owned by Nigerians, they don't have to worry about if it's in English or in their language. Biotime Cloud can come in different languages. So language is not a problem at all. Then another thing to look at for the function is the real-time data transmission. Data is transmitted in real time. So the minute your employee who is in Gwangwalada clocks in, you get a real-time update showing on your dashboard. This is what is available. And this real-time can synchronize with all the modules, be it for time attendance, be it for the device, when the device is offline, your payroll management, and a whole lot. It's real-time. Because we understand that the world is going digital, the world is going mobile. According to survey, it has shown that majority of internet users today are using their mobile device. Hence why Biotime has been created and can be customized to work with different instant messaging applications, like WhatsApp being the very popular and Line being yet another instant messaging and messaging application. So you can create, you can configure Biotime to give you a notification of your employee log, or for each employee, it can send daily attendance reports on this time at this application, this instant messaging application. And this can also be used for schools who are very particular about attendance for the pupils. Parents, they want to know when their child clocked in, when the child was, let's say the maid drop off the child in school, the parents want to be aware. And when the maid or whoever has been delegated to pick up the child, pick the child up from school, parents want to be aware that, yes, this child has left. So this notification setting is a setting that will be a unique cell for clients who are in the education sector for their children. This notification setting comes very handy and practical. Security settings. This is still other settings that give that comes to Biotime. User can set login verification code and password validity. So for organizations who are very concerned about security, so you have some staff who are on interns, who are on internship, and because you understand that they are interns and they might be with the company for, say, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, maybe during their youth service, and you want to give them restricted access for this period. Biotime can do that, such that you give them access for certain validity period, and when that validity period expires, they don't have access to your system anymore. being for time attendance, access control, and a whole lot. These are the security systems that are resident in Biotime. What you see here is a super user creation. A super user is the main user, the admin user, who have the overall rights. And you can also register your company, and you can register sub or vendor accounts under your company. That's for those who want to resell Biotime Cloud as a reseller. So we'll later see this business model later during the course of this presentation. The opportunity, the business in it that we can benefit from as partners of ZKTeco, as business owners, as vendors who want to resell this turnkey time attendance solution. This is just talking about the configuration, color setting. So because we understand that people want to have their data, they want to be able to back up in events where life happens. Backup is available for the Biotime 8.0 because it uses an SQL server. You can back up your data such that even when there is a system crash or system downtime, you don't have to worry about losing your data. Why for Biotime Cloud? Because it's cloud-based, of course. Being cloud-based, all data are automatically backed up to cloud. But even if you want to pull your data from the cloud and have a private or a local backup for your cloud data, you can also do that for Biotime Cloud. If you want to back up, you have reservation that anything might happen to cloud, it might be downtime. You can also do that for this time attendance solution, be it the cloud or the 8.0. And data migration. We understand that some of our partners might have sold other time attendance software from ZKTeco or from other OEMs. And they might want to upscale or migrate from this existing solution to Biotime. That won't be a problem. Biotime can work with data that are put from other time attendance solution like Time Web, like lower Biotime version, and other WDMS5 time attendance software. So we understand that there might also be other time attendance software in the open market that some client might be using that is not giving them the value, and they want to upscale using Biotime. They can update or migrate their data from existing such solution to Biotime Cloud. This data migration is both available on Biotime 8.0 and Biotime Cloud, respectively. This is a search tool, so you can search by employee name, search by ID. So auto export is a system whereby the administrator or the HR or whoever wants to say, okay, at every given point in time, at certain interval, weekly, monthly, yearly, quarterly, I want to receive certain kind of reports, certain kind of notification. You can set auto export and the system automatically generate that report and send to your email without you doing anything. Report customization. You can customize your report in different way such that you can save that template. Hence, that if you want to use that template that you previously used, you don't necessarily need to start remodifying it. You just have to copy that template and use that previous template created for yet pulling another report. So such selected pre-filled templates are saved and used subsequently. This is what we have in ZKTeco. You can customize how you want your report to come. You want to see only clocking, you want to see absence, you want to see check-in time, you want first in, last out, different reports, or you want your employee names to only display and not their department. However you want to customize. In fact, the customization option for ZKTeco Biotime is actually very robust. Integration function. We understand that people might have other servers, FTP and SFTP servers that they use for data transfer. You can also integrate this SFTP server to Biotime Cloud and Biotime 8.0. So you don't have to worry about your data getting lost or backing up your existing data to your SFTP or FTP server for those who currently have that. This is just notification, automatic email alerts. This can also be achieved either using the instant messaging application like WhatsApp or Line, or if you want notification on your email, you can get alerts for lateness, early leave, absence. This can also be triggered via email and SMS and WhatsApp, depending on the choice of the client. We understand every client has a dynamic need, and this need is what ZKTeco Biotime has factored. So for companies that have different locations in different time zones, so you have a company that is resident in, let's say, the United Kingdom, and we understand they use daylight saving. You can configure their device such that it factors the daylight saving for device optimization. You don't have to worry about that. And we also have device log. So device log gives you an option where you are able to see the history of the device. So with the device log, you know a device that is offline, if a device was turned off by an admin, if a device had an error, if there was a false, anything about the device, the whole history of your device comes listed under your device log, and you can get to see all the device in different locations, the access, the log that has been done, the query, the command that has been given, issued, and pulled from that device across all your location. Then we talked about the employee self-service. The employee self-service is resident in Biotime 8.0 and Biotime Cloud. With this, employees can apply for leave, apply for manual punch. So manual punch is in the event of, say, an employee who is perhaps a salesperson might be going to see a client in another location, hence why he might not be coming to the office on time, and he has gotten approval from his line manager. What he needs to do is, when he gets to that location, he just can either punch from his mobile application, or he can do a manual punch, and the line manager approves manual punch. For companies that do overtiming, employee can also apply for overtime from their self-service portal, either on their desktop, PC, laptop, phone, any operating system they use. And they can apply for meeting. Meetings mean meeting rooms that they want to use, because like we mentioned, Biotime 8.0 has a simple access control module that you can use to restrict access to certain conference rooms for organizations that have limited space for meeting, where for you to use a meeting room, you need to book. You can use the simple access control module to control such meeting rooms, such that it's only employees that have the permission, the right to get access to that meeting room that can use it at certain given time. So employee can apply for such meeting room and do visitors reservation and self-service report, pull their report, see their access, their attendance, and every log that they've made from their own end. Personnel validity, which we've previously talked about for colleagues, employees, or people who are on probation, interns who are on internship, and a whole lot. Personnel photo capture. These are just talking about settings that are resident in the Biotime Cloud and Biotime 8.0. So multiple level admin privilege is the function of Biotime to give you a super user privilege and a sub administrative privilege. So a super user can have a absolute control over the software, while a sub user has limited function of what they can do on the Biotime Cloud or the Biotime 8.0 software. Talking about the approval and permission process, Biotime has factored that such that your employee can have employees who or companies who are using Biotime, whether Biotime 8.0 or Biotime Cloud, can apply for leave, can create logs, for manual punch, and their line manager can approve on his own portal. So the line manager sees every notification that people in his department, people under him make. So the employee is requesting for leave. The employee will be coming in late, requesting for an exception or an exemption, rather. It can be given, and the line manager gets to see notification that yes, XYZ your staff has requested for a leave, an exemption, a manual log, or duplicate punch, whatever it is that you want to apply for. Multiple level approval of Biotime. We understand that in an organization, sometimes you might have to, you have reporting lines. By reporting line, we're talking about for example, the HRO, and we have the line manager. So the HRO is at this level, the line manager is at this level. Then we have yet another colleague who are under the line manager. So when this staff makes a request, it comes to his line manager, head of department, to approve. You can further make it such that when the line manager approves, the HRO can also approve. And even if you want the general manager to approve, you can further create another layer before the thing it goes through this process. So you can have multiple level of approval such that if I request a leave, my manager approves. After my manager approves, it goes to the HRO. HRO approves before I proceed on leave. You can create as many levels as you want, depending on the organizational structure that the business currently have. These are unique selling points for organizations who are very particular and concerned about hierarchy. And this is a unique sell we can use as partners to push to peoples and organizations about their multi-level approval, the workflow process that comes with Biotime 8.0 and Biotime Cloud. Then this is for integration into others ERP. We understand that some companies might have other ERP that they use for their HR management and all that, CRO end. And if you want to integrate Biotime to work with it, yes, you can do that. You can integrate Biotime to work with it, and it becomes a seamless integration for you, such that you can have all your company's management software resident in one software. You can integrate Biotime middleware table to work with this, just with an API integration. Another thing we are talking about is auto-synchronization. Auto-synchronization is, so with Biotime understand that some organization might have several devices in different locations. So let's say a company that has 5, 6 locations. Location 1 has a biometric device that uses just finger as a mode of authentication or signing in. Location 2 has a device that uses just face for signing in. Location 3 has a device that uses just your card as a means of identification. Location 4 might have, let's say, just palm as means of signing in. But with this device in different locations, you don't have to worry about the kind of mode of authentication that the device comes with. It synchronizes in the software, irrespective of the kind of device you have, between devices, between server and area, and it's updated automatically. Like I mentioned before, Biotime 8.0 and Biotime Cloud, they both come with a simple access control module that you can set up to manage access control. So for organizations that want a simple access control, they have a device on the door positioned as a time attendance device. They can further use that device for access control, controlling the main entrance door. It can be done using Biotime access control module to control the access and also for clocking in for time attendance for staff. This is what Biotime can do, because we understand that people, they don't really feel comfortable to have multiple solutions running their business. They want to be able to do several things with one solution. That is why Biotime has factored that. This is resident in Biotime 8.0 and Biotime Cloud, both of them respectively. Like we mentioned, is a cloud and a web-based time attendance, so you don't have to worry about data. It can be accessed from anywhere. Multiple scheduling. So with multiple scheduling of Biotime, what can you achieve with this? So I was privileged to have a client who operates a production facility, and because it's a production facility, they run a 24 hours, 7 days a week schedule, and you might have in a day up to 4 shifts. And they also have in that same company employees who run the regular shift, the normal 8 to 5. How can you manage your schedule? With Biotime 8.0, you can have different kind of schedule. You can have a flexible schedule. You can have an auto shift scheduling, and you can have different schedule, group scheduling, temporary scheduling, such that irrespective of whatever departments, you can do scheduling at departmental level. You can do scheduling at individual level, at area level, at location level, across different location. You don't have to worry about the location. So in this case, we have a location like Port Harcourt, and they run a different shift from Lagos. You can create different schedule for this location. And even this location, you can create different shift schedule for different departments, different employee, and different groups, respectively. Global and local rule. Global rule is just a rule that gives you time to set your attendance parameter. So with global rule, you can see check-in and check-out time, and you can have a scheduled and non-scheduled days. With this scheduled days, you can say, okay, for non-scheduled days, when someone works in non-scheduled, how does it count? Does it count as overtime? Overtime rule. These are things you can set. How many hours does someone need to work for him to qualify as overtime? How many hours and normal work hours? When does a person start, when does an hour start counting as an overtime for each employee or for everybody in the organization? These are functions that are resident in Biotime 8.0 and Biotime Cloud, respectively. And we have different attendance rules that you can apply from different departments, different scenarios. Calculation of attendance is also available there. Attendance grouping, like we've talked about. You can have grouping in terms of temporary schedule, employee schedule, group schedule, departmental schedule. Different schedules are resident in Biotime. You can do your grouping to meet the need of clients or to meet the need of the organization. Then attendance report and calculation. However you want your report to be calculated. If you want to exclude certain period, you want to filter a certain period, with Biotime Cloud and Biotime 8.0, this is available. You can even do your tweaking and customization to meet your need, to meet your reporting need, and to meet your salary calculation or attendance calculation need. These are just different formats that you can export your report. So you want your report exported in CSV, PDF, Excel format, it's available. Even in test format, different format available. So we have multiple shifts, auto shifts, different scheduling available on Biotime, because we understand that life is dynamic. No one process fits all. So that is why Biotime has a robust scheduling and auto shift for you to be able to do different scenarios to achieve different objectives for different clients and for different organizations. Then we also have the visitors module. Visitors module is optional, depending on the need. So you're expecting a visitor, you can use the visitor module to give visitor temporary access to a building or to a facility using the access control integration and your visitor module together. This is resident in Biotime 8.0, but not in Biotime Cloud currently. But depending on the need of the customer, visitor module can also be made available on Biotime Cloud. Visitor meeting module is just like reservation of a meeting room, conference room for employees in different organizations or different using different facilities, such that if, for example, we have only one conference room in this office, and for me to be able to use it, I need to get approval to use that meeting room. I need to apply, and when I'm granted, it's only when I'm granted that my fingerprint or my card will be able to open the access control device on the entrance to the meeting room. Payroll management. By payroll management, we are talking about what calculates salary. Let me throw this out there. The payroll does not pay salary. It only uses calculation of attendance to prorate certain salary, how much a staff should earn because the staff has been in attendance for XYZ number of days, for certain number of days, or he was late for certain number of days. Because of this, his salary should be this amount. You can use it to do payroll management. So payroll management in Biotime is just talking about calculation of salary, advising you that because a staff came in this number of time and was absent for this number of time and came late for this number of time and left early for a certain number of time, hence this factor is why the salary should be this, in view of the salary that you've set at the basic or the net gross monthly salary for this employee. Different scenarios can be done from this: overtime formula, deduction, leave, increment, and a whole lot of what you can do with this formula. But it does not pay salary. It does not pay salary. You can also export. So after you've done your calculation, you now export the total payroll to CSV file that you can now use as an advice for pulling to your payment slip that you use for your bank or whatever, however you prepare your payroll. Now, we've talked about Biotime. Let's quickly take a quick look about the Biotime app, Biotime mobile attendance system. The Biotime app is available in Biotime 8.0 app and Biotime Cloud app. That it's available in App Store and Google Play Store for iOS user and Android users. So with this, your employees can have an app where they can manage their own attendance, where they can sign in and see everything, request for leave, and everything we talk about employee self-service that are available to your employee. And even the administrator can also use the mobile application to do certain administrative setting, if not all the administrative function, such as approval, granting permission, and a whole lot. This is just a look of what a feel of what your clocking page looks like for the Biotime 8.0 mobile app, while the Biotime Cloud mobile app looks similar like your Biotime 8.0 because they come with the same look and feel. The only difference is just the method of connectivity. And yet another is your profile menu. With your profile menu, you're able to see your clocking, you're able to see your work code. By work code, we are talking about check-in, check-out, working remotely. You can even use your mobile app to do geofencing and geotagging. Geofencing and geotagging such that if a staff is meant to be visiting a client and you want that staff to only sign in when they get to that location, you can geotag that client location on that staff mobile application such that the staff can only sign in when it gets to that location or within a radius, within the set parameter radius of that location. So if I'm meant to visit a staff at Ibadan and the staff is at, let's say, Bodija, I can only sign in when I've gotten to Bodija. Without getting to Bodija, I cannot use my app to sign in. These are functions that you can do with Biotime 8.0 and Biotime Cloud app for employee self-service app on their phone. Request menu. This is just a status. This is just a quick run through of the look and feel of the Biotime 8.0 and Biotime Cloud mobile application. So for employees, they get notification if their leave is granted, rejected, revoked, approved, if their request for using the meeting room is approved, if their request for allowing a visitor to come in is revoked, approved, rejected, their early leave, their lateness, the whole transaction they've done on Biotime, you can have access to it. They can get notification on their app in real time. This is available to both Biotime 8.0 and Biotime Cloud, respectively. And even administrator can also be notified on the app too. Another unique feature that Biotime 8.0 and Biotime Cloud mobile app has is you can send a private message to different employees. You can even send to all employees. You can send to individuals and public announcements that can be viewed by all or viewed by individual on the app. And what you're looking at is just the contact menu of Biotime, the Biotime app. With the contact menu, you can get to see all employees that work for certain organization or certain area or certain location or certain department. You have their contact details. You can call them directly and you can even email them with this contact menu function. So these are just some of the few snippets and the value that you get with Biotime mobile application and Biotime software. So we've been talking about the software, the solution all along, and I know some of you might be wondering, are we here for a software session? Are we here for a class session about a software? I'm not a software designer. I want to concern about software. If you are in it for the business, if you are interested in making money, then you are just like me. But the question we need to ask ourselves is, yes, Biotime Cloud, what is in it for me? If you're asking that question, then yes, then I can assure you that we have the same mind. And your coming here is not in vain. What you're looking at is a Biotime Cloud business. Biotime Cloud business is an opportunity for all ZKTeco partners to resell Biotime. especially Biotime Cloud. What you're looking at on your screen is an architecture of Biotime Cloud, showing you company and vendor reseller structure. So as a partner of ZKTeco, when you're on board and say, okay, Biotime Cloud looks very interesting. The functions we talked about, it looks like a function that company A would want, company B would want. I have somebody in XYZ company that might need it. I have an uncle that owns a business that's looking for such solution. How do I sell it to this uncle so I can make something for myself? Biotime Cloud gives you the function for you to join as a vendor. When you join as a vendor, or when you opt in on Biotime Cloud as a vendor, you get an option to resell this service to other people who want to buy the functions that we've talked about for their time attendance management in their company. So what you look at now is, for example, we have a vendor, which is C1, who buys the Biotime vendor solution and resells to C2, C3, and C4. C2 resells to C5 and is managing his business, and C2 can C5 further resells to C9 and C10 and C11. We see the structure, how it's going now. Someone bought the vendor module of Biotime Cloud and is reselling it because he wants to make money. This can be in a company structure, and this can also be replicated in a vendor structure for reselling. Then we have C3, who resold to C6. We have C4, who resold to C7, C8, and CN. From the first level, we see the vendor level 1, which is the C1, selling to vendor level 2, which is the C2, C3, and the C4. We have even vendor level 3 and vendor level 4. You can further replicate this vendor level depending on the modules or the vendor subscription accounts you currently want to subscribe for. So this is a business opportunity that those who are keen on making money out of Biotime Cloud would want to key into. The truth is this: cloud solution is the future. Most organizations, they understand this. They see the value of optimizing and having their solution to be cloud resident. Hence why most companies are moving from the conventional desktop application to cloud-based application, because the cost, though it might come at a recurring monthly cost, but the value, the scalability, the 4 factors we mentioned before, is not something most organizations want to jettison just because they want a resident solution. But for those who have the means to have a resident, an infrastructure deployed and can manage it, Biotime 8.0 would work for them flawlessly. So this is just a screenshot of your Biotime Cloud vendor management portal. From your vendor management portal, you're able to see your subscription. You can manage your subscription. You can give discount to certain of your sub vendors under you, because the vendor has purchased, let's say, a 3-year subscription. You want to say, okay, for purchasing this 3-year subscription, I will give you a certain percentage discount on your subscription. You can apply discount to them. You can see your vendors under you. You can see how many devices the vendors under you have in their account. You can set how much you want to resell this cloud service to other companies, to other vendors. This can be done. You can create a company, others can join the company, and a whole lot you can do with Biotime Cloud. So this is an opportunity for us to resell a bespoke time attendance management solution that is cloud-based to our clients, to our companies, for IT people who are currently tying on this section. And one thing is sure, with Biotime Cloud or with Biotime 8.0, you can be sure of getting an optimized and maximized business operation, profit for your business if you're a business person like myself, and the possibility of what you can do with it is actually a whole lot. We really thank you for your time and really appreciate you for tying on this session. And because we appreciate you and we know that you left whatever time, whatever other activities you have to time to this session. We want to get a feedback from you. Hence why what we're going to be doing now, we'll be taking a pool, a rating pool of this session. Then after the rating pool, we'll take a question and answer session for us to hear from you. So I'll be launching a pool. We really appreciate, please, if you can give us a feedback on this pool, how this training session was, because we want to improve as ZKTeco on the quality and quantity, not only of our products, of our service, but also of the information we give to you. So the pool that you'll be seeing on your screen now would help us to improve on our training, on our products, and everything that we are giving as value to you as our partner. So thank you very much. I'll be launching the pool now for like 5 minutes. Then after the 5 minutes, I hope every of our partners and friends and those who have tied in would have taken the pool. Then we can go to the Q&A session for 30 minutes mass, and we can move to our other business. Really appreciate it very much. So that being said, I will be launching the pool now. Please do well to give us a feedback, please. I'd like to take the question and the answer, please. This is a question and answer session. Mr. Odetunde Yusuf, your hand is up. Sir, you have a question, please.
Hello?
Yeah, Mr. Odetunde Yusuf, your hand is up,
Okay.
please.
My question is, can you hear me?
I can hear you very well.
Okay. The issue I'm just facing about the 8.0 is just that the license, the issue of the license. So
issue of the license. What issue are you having with the license?
Like it's stated on the ZKTeco website that the license is, the free license is just for a year.
The what?
The license
is for a year?
Yes. Like if we
Biotime 8.0, please.
Yes.
Okay.
Like while installing it, there's a 1 year free license, and after that year, you purchase another license.
Okay. But permit me to let you know, sir, that actually ZKTeco Biotime doesn't come with a 1 year free license. It's actually when you install, every time you install Biotime, you get a 3 months trial license.
Yes. And even the 3 months is not 3 months, it's just a month.
No, it's 3 months. That we have to check that. I'm very sure it's 3 months, but we still check that.
It's not as if I'm just cooking up the story. I did it. It's what I did.
Okay. When was it? When did you download it, sir?
That was 5 months ago.
When did you download it? You downloaded it 5 months ago.
Yes, I did the attendance for the clients. Like I used it for a month, and the following month, the client have to tell me that the cloud is not working again. I now have to resort back to 5.0.
Sorry, please. Sorry, sir. Is it the Biotime Cloud or Biotime 8.0? You need to
8.0, not cloud. Biotime 8.0. 8.0. So okay, for the first month, the 8.0, the cloud 8.0, Biotime 8.0 was working. Like the client can connect to it remotely. Okay. Like view the attendance record, download record remotely for a month.
Okay.
For the following month, the client was unable to do that. It's just saying license expired. So I had to resort back to 5.0. Then we connect to the same network. Then the client can download records. That's just it.
Okay. You can chat our support off on that. We'll follow up on that, please.
And about that too. I spoke with one of you, and the person said the license is 50K, which is one off. But
Okay,
I've not
okay.
gotten enough explanation on that.
Okay, not to worry. See, please, if your question is about support, you can send a message to me, or our support team would discuss about that later, please.
No problem.
So anybody that needs support should please send a message to me. I will share my email on the chat now, and our support email, please. We can we do that there, please. Is that clear, please? Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Adetunde. Do we have further questions? Mr. Samuel Wonpara. Mr. Samuel Wonpara, you have a question, please. What's your question, sir?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning, sir. We can hear you loud and clear, sir.
I joined in the meeting quite late. I was on the road actually.
Okay.
So by the time I joined in, you started already. So
Oh,
I'm now asking now, is there any how I can get the slide?
Of course, would send the slide and a recorded session to all who are in attendance and all who registered for the training. So yes, you will get the recorded session and the material sent to you, sir. Everyone will get it. Thank you very much. Okay, believing that answered the question from Mr. Samuel and others, we have Mr. Messiah Adela. Mr. Messiah, you can unmute now.
Okay. My question is this. You said that it can be integrated with other ERP software. I want to know how that works. You mentioned API, and
okay.
I want to know if that is generic for all ERP or and the API covers the integration part. I don't know. Just maybe verify on that.
Okay,
so for it,
I got you. So for API, API for Biotime, we have one API for Biotime. So depending on the ERP you have. So when we're talking about API, we have middle table and we have API. So we need to understand for API, you're just like saying, okay, I currently have a let's say an Odoo that I'm using as or a Zoho HRM that I'm using. I want Biotime to work with it. So the API you have would make it work like that. So the API is not like saying, okay, you can pull some features of Biotime, the time attendance module, to work with your ERP. So the API is going to come from ZKTeco to work with your existing ERP. So yes, the API, it's a unique API, but it depends on the need of but we need to know, most times before customers to tell you, okay, I want an API, we usually ask them, what is the current ERP you're using? And the ERP will determine the kind of API you get. But yes, we have the API document that's what you need to do to integrate Biotime 8.0 to your existing ERP. I believe that answer your question, please. Okay, we have Mr. Chiedu. Mr. Chukudi, Uchenobi, please. Mr. Chukudi. Come in, Mr. Chukudi. Okay, you can unmute now, Mr. Chukudi.
All right, good morning. My name is Chukudi Chinebi from Red Leaf Solutions Limited.
Okay, Mr. Chukudi, nice to have you here, sir.
Yeah. The license, what is the cost range of the license and how many years can you pay for?
Okay, the cost range.
Yes, and how many years can you pay for?
Okay, so this is the question is an inquiry about product and support. So I would you can say you can chat me up or message me, and what is the session? I will share that with you. Or any of my colleague Chineye, who is currently tied on this session, would reach out to you to tell you that. Okay, my sales colleague would get to you on that. And for the license, the range, we need to understand Biotime 8.0, it's a one-off. As long as you still have the PC where it's installed working, it's a one-off. But it comes with other incurring costs. If you want to do, like I mentioned before, if you want to do a centralized system where you are in location A, but you are viewing it in location B, you have to get the public IP, do a whole lot of port forwarding to ensure you're able to view it remotely. But for the Biotime Cloud, because it's cloud, it comes with a recurring monthly premium that goes with it. But for the Biotime 8.0, because it's meant to be infrastructure as a service, hence why it is mostly it's a one-off. For now, it's a one-off. But it might change. But currently, at ZKTeco Biotime 8.0, it's a one-off. The price and order to be shared with you by my colleague Chine.
And this one you're talking.
You can see everybody's. Can I answer your question, Mr. Chukudi?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Chiedu, please, can go ahead and ask your question, please.
Okay, thank you, Josh, for a wonderfully presented presentation. I guess the last person asked kind of the question I wanted to ask, but I guess I'll just rephrase a bit.